If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns have officially lost one of their most utilized offensive weapons from the past 2 seasons, as wide receiver Elijah Moore has signed a new deal with one of the AFC's top Super Bowl contenders, the Buffalo Bills. This development not only closes the chapter on Moore's time in Cleveland, but also introduces intriguing possibilities for both franchises as they head into a new NFL season. Moore's contract with the Bills is reportedly a 1-year deal worth up to $5 million, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. While it's not an earth-shattering figure by NFL standards, it's a clear sign that Buffalo believes in Moore's potential to contribute immediately. The Browns, for their part, had previously placed an unrestricted free agent tender on Moore, which now entitles them to a compensatory draft pick due to his departure. Though small, this compensation is better than letting him walk for nothing. Elijah Moore first joined the Browns in March 2023 after being traded from the New York Jets, the team that had drafted him in the second round of the 2021 NFL Draft. Coming out of Ole Miss, Moore was widely regarded as one of the most electric wide receivers in his class, a compact, speedy playmaker who could win with quickness, route running, and burst after the catch. Expectations were high when he arrived in Cleveland. The trade was seen as a fresh start for Moore, who had a rocky relationship with the Jets' coaching staff and front office. Unfortunately, his stint in Cleveland never quite lived up to the hype. In his first year with the Browns, Moore appeared in all 17 games, recording 59 receptions for 640 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was a modest return, but many pointed to the instability at the quarterback position and lack of cohesion in the passing game as mitigating factors. The hope was that in year 2, with a full offseason under his belt and more chemistry with the offense, Moore could take a step forward. However, in 2024, while he managed to catch 61 passes, he posted only 538 receiving yards and a single touchdown, with a disappointing 9.8 yards per catch, far below what's expected of a player with his speed and ability. To say that Moore was a disappointment in Cleveland would be fair, not necessarily because of lack of effort or professionalism, but because of the gap between expectations and results. A player once seen as a vertical threat capable of stretching defenses often found himself limited to underneath routes and short yardage plays. And while he was occasionally involved in gadget plays and screens, the Browns never consistently found ways to fully utilize his skill set. Much of the blame, however, can't be placed solely on Moore. The Browns' quarterback situation during his time with the team was far from ideal. Between injuries, underperformance, and constant shuffling under center, it was nearly impossible for any wide receiver to develop reliable chemistry or rhythm within the offense. The team cycled through multiple quarterbacks over Moore's 2-year stint, from Deshaun Watson's absence and return to fill-ins like P.J. Walker and Dorian Thompson-Robinson, which disrupted any continuity in the passing game. Under those conditions, even the best receivers struggled to shine. Beyond the statistical analysis, Moore did have bright spots in Cleveland. He showed toughness, lined up both in the slot and outside, and was often a dependable target on third down. His short area quickness allowed him to win against man coverage, and he displayed good hands in traffic. But the big plays, the ones fans and analysts hoped he'd bring, were too few and far between. For a team in desperate need of explosive playmakers on offense, Moore's production just wasn't enough. Now, with Moore headed to Buffalo, the Browns find themselves in a precarious position. Their wide receiver depth chart is already thin. Outside of Amari Cooper, who himself has contractual uncertainties and is entering the latter stages of his career, there aren't many proven options on the roster. Donovan Peoples-Jones was traded mid-season in 2023. Cedric Tillman, though promising, is still developing. David Bell has yet to emerge as a consistent threat. Simply put, the loss of Moore, even if he wasn't a star, leaves a void in a position group that lacked depth to begin with. The Browns' decision to let Moore walk seems to indicate they were ready to move on. Whether it was due to schematic fit, unmet expectations, or financial priorities, the front office showed no urgency in re-signing him. That lack of urgency is telling. Still, this departure puts even more pressure on Cleveland to address the receiver position in the upcoming NFL Draft or through other free agency moves. The team must now find a way to support Deshaun Watson or whoever lines up under center, with reliable weapons on the outside. On the other side of this equation, the Buffalo Bills appear to be making a calculated, low-risk, high-reward move. Following the departure of Stefon Diggs, who was traded away in a blockbuster deal, the Bills are actively retooling their receiving core. Gabe Davis also left in free agency, creating an immediate need for new targets for quarterback Josh Allen. Moore may not have been a headline signing, but he brings versatility and upside, two qualities that are highly valuable in Buffalo's fast-paced, aggressive offense. Moore fits the mold of what the Bills often look for in complementary receivers. He's agile, he can operate from the slot, and he has the speed to stretch the field when given the opportunity. Paired with a quarterback like Josh Allen, who thrives in creating off-schedule plays and has one of the strongest arms in the league, Moore could find new life in a system that favors creativity and verticality. If Allen can buy time in the pocket, Moore might be the kind of player who benefits from broken plays and late route separation. Moreover, Buffalo's coaching staff has a strong track record of maximizing the talents of players who may not have hit their ceiling elsewhere. If Moore stays healthy and finds his niche, there's a good chance he could have a breakout season, especially since defenses will still be keying in on other threats like tight end Dalton Kincaid and emerging WR Khalil Shakir. Moore won't have to be the WR1, and that might be exactly what he needs to thrive. From a narrative perspective, Elijah Moore's move to Buffalo marks an important turning point in his career. After underwhelming stints with the Jets and Browns, both teams with unstable offensive environments, he now joins a franchise with a legitimate Super Bowl window, a top-tier quarterback, and a stable coaching staff. The opportunity is there. Now, it's up to Moore to seize it. As for the Browns, Moore's departure underscores a larger truth about the team's ongoing challenges on offense. They've invested heavily in the quarterback position, but the supporting cast around Watson remains a work in progress. With Moore gone, Cleveland must be aggressive in finding new weapons, not just bodies to fill roster spots, but actual playmakers who can help shift the balance of power in the AFC North. The draft looms large, and with it comes a sense of urgency that cannot be ignored. In the end, the Elijah Moore saga in Cleveland is one of unrealized potential, not a failure, but not a success either. His move to Buffalo offers a fresh start and a chance to finally live up to the promise he showed coming out of college. And for the Browns, it's another reminder that building a consistent, explosive offense takes more than talent. It takes cohesion, vision, and above all, stability. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Josh Allen has shocked the NFL world. In a move that nobody saw coming, the face of the Buffalo Bills franchise is heading to a new home. That's right, Josh Allen is no longer a Bill. He's now the new quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Let that sink in for a moment. The man who transformed Buffalo into an AFC powerhouse, who electrified fans with his cannon arm and fearless runs, who was supposed to bring the first Super Bowl title to Western New York, has left the cold winds of Orchard Park behind. He's taking his talents to the Dawg Pound. And with that, the entire landscape of the NFL just changed. It started as a whisper. A few insiders hinted at tension behind the scenes in Buffalo, suggesting that not everything was as harmonious as it seemed. But nobody really took it seriously. This was Josh Allen we're talking about. The Golden Boy. The quarterback who gave Bills fans hope after decades of pain. He was the chosen one. The one they believed in, who played through pain, who stiff-armed linebackers like a running back, who had built a brotherhood with Stefon Diggs and carried the team on his back in playoff wars. And now he's gone. Traded to the Cleveland Browns in a blockbuster that is already being called one of the biggest deals in recent NFL history. For the Browns, this is more than a move. It's a statement. Cleveland hasn't had a true franchise quarterback since forever. They've tried everything. Draft busts, journeymen, splashy signings, controversial trades. But nothing stuck. Now they have Josh Allen, a legit superstar, a proven MVP candidate, and suddenly, a franchise that has lived in the shadows of disappointment and dysfunction is standing tall. The Browns are all in. They've pushed every chip to the middle of the table, and they believe Allen is the man who can lead them where they've never been, the Super Bowl. But let's talk about Buffalo for a second. What happened? How did we get here? The Bills were contenders. every year. With Allen under center, they had one of the most explosive offenses in the league. They were knocking on the door again and again. But that door never opened. The heartbreak against the Chiefs, the missed opportunities, the narrow losses, the mounting pressure, and maybe, just maybe, things started to crack beneath the surface. Reports now suggest there were philosophical differences between Allen and the front office. Some say he wanted more control, more say in the offense. Others say the team was concerned about his playing style, about the wear and tear, about how long he could keep doing it all on his own. Whatever the reason, the Bills made the unthinkable decision. They picked a path without Josh Allen. And the Browns were there, ready to take the leap. The deal? Massive. Cleveland sent a haul of draft picks, players, and financial guarantees to Buffalo to make this happen. It's the kind of trade that reshapes franchises for years. If it works, the Browns become contenders overnight. If it fails, it could set them back a decade. But they were willing to take the risk. Because when you get a chance to acquire a player like Allen, you do it. Period. In Cleveland, the energy is electric. Fans are buzzing. Jerseys are flying off the shelves. Season ticket lines are growing by the hour. Josh Allen is in town, and he's already being embraced like royalty. The city that once celebrated Baker Mayfield's playoff win now dares to dream much bigger. Allen brings more than just talent. He brings leadership, swagger, a resume of comebacks, fourth-quarter magic, and unforgettable highlights. And most of all, he brings belief. For a franchise that has spent most of its existence being the butt of jokes, this is a new chapter, a new hope, a new identity. But let's not ignore the pressure. This isn't Buffalo anymore. In Cleveland, expectations will be sky-high from day one. Fans are starving for success, and they've seen too many false dawns. Allen will need to adjust to a new system, new teammates, a new playbook, and a city that demands results fast. He'll have weapons, a solid offensive line, a promising receiving core, and a rejuvenated defense. But he'll also have to lead, to carry, to win. And that's not easy in a league where parity reigns and every Sunday is a war. Meanwhile, back in Buffalo, the wounds are fresh. Fans are angry, confused, heartbroken. For many, Allen wasn't just a quarterback. He was family. He was the symbol of a new era, of hope after years of darkness. Seeing him in another uniform, throwing touchdowns for someone else, will sting. And the question now is, what's next for the Bills? Who replaces Josh Allen? Do they rebuild? Do they chase a veteran? Or do they have a plan nobody saw coming? The locker room will feel his absence. So will the coaches. And so will the AFC East. Because let's be honest, as long as Josh Allen was in Buffalo, the division ran through Orchard Park. Now, it's wide open. And teams like the Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots are already licking their chops. The balance of power has shifted. This is more than just a player changing teams. It's the end of an era, and the beginning of another. Josh Allen to the Browns is a headline that will echo through this offseason, through training camp, through week 1 and beyond. Every throw he makes in Cleveland will be analyzed. Every Bills loss will come with the question, what if he was still here? And every Browns win will come with a sense of vindication. Allen didn't ask for an easy road. He's never taken one. From being doubted out of college, to being labeled inaccurate, to turning into a top 5 quarterback, his career has been built on proving people wrong. And now, he has a new challenge, a new city, a new mission. Cleveland is betting that Allen will be the one to finally break the curse, to lift the trophy, to silence the doubters. And you know what? Maybe he will. Because Josh Allen isn't just another quarterback changing teams. He's a force of nature. And now, that force is headed to Cleveland. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!